The order arrived without warning. Commander Ethan Cross was standing alone in the training bay when his wrist screen lit up with a red priority mark. He had seen that symbol before. It always meant trouble. Ethan opened the message and read it in silence. His jaw tightened. Then he read it again, slower this time. You are assigned as lead combat trainer for the Volari Auxiliary Squadron, report immediately. The Volari. Everyone in the human fleet knew that name. They were fox-like alien warriors, fast, sharp, and proud. Covered in soft fur, long ears, and glowing eyes that never missed a movement. They were also known for one dangerous thing. They did not respect outsiders. Most trainers refused Volari assignments. Some never returned early. Others came back broken, angry, or quietly transferred away. Ethan exhaled slowly. He had not asked for this mission. But human command never asked, they only assigned. Minutes later, a transport ship carried him away from the familiar steel halls of the human fleet. As the ship entered Volari space, the lights dimmed slightly. The air felt heavier, charged with tension. When Ethan stepped onto the Volari training world, he felt hundreds of eyes on him at once. Tall fox girls stood in loose formation, their tails flicking slowly behind them. Some watched with curiosity. Others with open dislike. At the front stood Captain Lyra, the squadron leader. Her fur was silver white, her eyes sharp and cold. She did not bow. She did not smile. So, she said calmly, this is the human they sent. Her voice was smooth, but there was challenge behind it. Ethan stood straight, hands behind his back. Commander Ethan Cross, Human Defense Fleet, he replied. I am here to train your squadron. A quiet laugh moved through the fox girls. Not friendly. Not respectful. One of them whispered something in their language. Several tails flicked with amusement. Lyra stepped closer, close enough that Ethan could see the faint scars on her armor. You train us? She asked. We have hunted, fought, and survived before your species learned space travel. Ethan did not react. He had learned long ago that fear only fed predators. Then you will learn fast, he said evenly. I do not train strength, I train survival. The smiles faded. That caught their attention. The first test came without warning. A training alarm sounded across the field. Drones lifted from hidden panels, weapons glowing. No rules, Lyra announced loudly. Let us see how long the human lasts. The drones attacked immediately. Ethan moved. Not fast like the Volari. Not flashy. He moved smart. He used cover, timing, angles. He let the drones overcommit, then disabled them one by one using precise shots and quick strikes. Within minutes, the field went silent. Smoke rose from disabled machines. The fox girls stood still. No laughter now. Lyra's ears twitched slightly. Interesting. But she was not convinced yet. The next days were worse. Ethan pushed them hard. Harder than any trainer before him. He made them repeat drills until muscles burned. He forced teamwork where pride wanted solo glory. He punished mistakes without mercy. They hated him for it. At night, whispers spread through the barracks. He is weak but clever. He does not fight like prey. He does not fear us. One evening, during a live combat exercise, everything went wrong. A real enemy scout ship breached the atmosphere. Weapons hot. No backup nearby. The Volari reacted fast but scattered. Each warrior fighting alone. Ethan saw the mistake instantly. Hold formation, he shouted over the comms. Protect each other. They ignored him. Until the enemy struck hard, injuring 2 fox girls in seconds. Ethan ran straight into danger. pulling one wounded soldier to safety, covering another with his own body as blaster fire burned the ground beside him. He did not hesitate. He did not retreat. Something changed in that moment. The Volari regrouped, followed his commands. Together, they drove the enemy away. Silence returned to the battlefield. Lyra stared at Ethan, her expression unreadable. Around her, the Fox girls lowered their weapons. That night, no one spoke openly. But the looks were different now. Not mockery. Not doubt. Respect was beginning to grow. Far above the training world, unseen eyes watched the recordings. Human command, alien councils, and forces far older than both. They had assigned a trainer. They may have created something far more dangerous. And the Fox-Girl Squadron was starting to understand one truth. This human was not prey. He was becoming something else. Something they instinctively understood. An alpha. The change was small, but everyone felt it. After the battle, the Fox-Girl Squadron did not laugh at Ethan anymore. They watched him instead, carefully. Morning drills began earlier than before. Ethan stood at the center of the field, arms crossed, eyes calm. The Volari warriors formed lines, not perfect, but closer than yesterday. Captain Lyra stepped forward. "You risked your life," she said. "That was unnecessary." Ethan met her gaze. "It was necessary," he replied. "A leader stands where danger is highest." Some Fox girls shifted their stance. Ears moved, tails slowed. That answer stayed with them. Training grew harder. Ethan introduced human combat logic. Angles, timing, sacrifice. Things the Volari never liked. They preferred speed and pride. He forced patience and unity. During one drill, a young Fox girl named Sarah broke formation to strike alone. She was fast, deadly, confident. A drone caught her side and knocked her down. Before others could react, Ethan moved. He dragged her back, shielded her. Then ended the drill instantly. "Again," he said coldly. Sarah looked at him with anger. "I would have won," she snapped. Ethan knelt to her level. "You would have died," he said quietly. "And your squad would have failed." Silence spread across the field. Lyra watched closely. This human did not shout. He did not threaten. He corrected behavior like a pack leader, not a tyrant. Later that night, the Volari gathered without Ethan. Whispers filled the barracks. He does not dominate with force. He protects the weak. He punishes mistakes but saves lives. Old instincts stirred. Instincts older than technology. The next test came from within. A senior Volari warrior named Kaelra challenged Ethan openly. She was larger, stronger, respected. Her tail lashed the air as she stepped forward. "Humans do not lead Volari," Kaelra declared. "Strength decides alpha." Lyra did not stop her. The challenge was ancient. And binding. Ethan understood the risk. Refusing would mean losing authority forever. "I accept," he said. The combat circle formed. No weapons. No armor. Just skill. Kaelra attacked first, fast and brutal. Claws aimed for throat and ribs. Ethan did not rush. He read her movements, waited, redirected. He took hits, felt pain. But he stayed standing. When Kaelra overextended, Ethan acted. He used leverage, balance, and timing. He forced her to the ground. Not by overpowering. But by controlling. He held her there, firm but not cruel. "I do not want to dominate you," Ethan said, breathing hard. "I want you alive, together." Kaelra froze. The circle stayed silent. Slowly, she lowered her head. Not in defeat. In recognition. Ethan released her and stepped back. Something shifted permanently. That night, Lyra visited Ethan's quarters. She stood at the doorway, arms folded. "You passed a test no human ever has," she said. "The pack feels it." Ethan nodded. "I am not here to rule," he replied. "I am here to prepare you for what is coming." Lyra's ears tilted forward. "What is coming?" she asked. Ethan looked toward the stars outside the window. "War," he said. "A war that will not care about pride or tradition." Far beyond Valari space, fleets were moving. Ancient enemies awakening. Human intelligence had seen the signs. But the Valari did not know yet. Within the squadron, loyalty began to form. Not forced. Earned. The Fox-Girls started copying Ethan's habits. Positioning, watching each other's backs. Protecting the injured first. They no longer called him the human. Whispers changed. He leads like an alpha. He fights for the pack. Above them all, unseen forces observed the recordings again. This time with concern. They had not expected this outcome. They had sent a trainer. They were witnessing the rise of a leader. And soon, the galaxy would learn why humans were feared. Not for their strength, but for how they unite others under their command. The squadron felt different now. Not louder. Not softer. But focused. When Ethan entered the training field, the Fox-Girl straightened without being told. It was not fear. It was instinct. Captain Lyra noticed it first. How their eyes followed him. How their ears turned when he spoke. She did not interrupt. She observed. Ethan raised his hand. The field went silent. "Today," he said calmly. "We train for real enemies, not drills." A hologram activated behind him. Dark shapes filled the air. Unknown ships, sharp and heavy. "These are not pirates," Ethan continued. "They do not retreat. They erase." A low growl moved through the squadron. The Valari had legends. Old stories of shadow fleets. Enemies that hunted entire systems. Lyra stepped closer. "You are describing the Void Marauders," she said quietly. Ethan nodded. Human space calls them the same. Training turned brutal. Urban combat. Ambush response. Last stand defense. Ethan pushed them past comfort. Past pride. Into survival thinking. One mistake meant simulated death. And Ethan treated it as real. Sarah failed once. She froze for half a second. Ethan stopped the drill. Walked to her slowly. "You hesitate," he said. "Why?" She swallowed. "I feared losing others." Ethan nodded once. "Then you already think like a leader," he said. That moment spread through the pack. Later, during a supply escort mission, alarms screamed without warning. Real this time. 3 hostile ships dropped from hyperspace. Black hulls, no markings. Void Marauders. Lyra gave orders fast. But her voice tightened. Ethan stepped beside her. "Let me coordinate," he said. She hesitated. Then nodded. The squadron moved as one. Cover arcs, defensive pulls, rescue priority. When a transport ship took a direct hit, Ethan rerouted 2 fighters instantly. "They live or we fail," he ordered. They obeyed without question. The battle was short. Violent. Efficient. When the enemy retreated, silence followed. No cheers. Only breathing. Back on the training world, the Fox-Girls gathered around Ethan. Not in formation. In a circle. Kael'ra spoke first. Our ancestors said the Alpha reveals himself in crisis, she said. Not by command, but by sacrifice. One by one, the Fox girls lowered their heads slightly. A Valari sign older than words. Lyra watched, heart racing. This was not protocol. This was instinctual acceptance. That night, Lyra met Ethan alone on the observation deck. Stars burned quietly beyond the glass. You changed them, she said. You changed me. Ethan shook his head. They were ready, he replied. They just needed direction. Lyra stepped closer. Close enough to feel his warmth. Our kind does not follow outsiders, she said softly. But they follow you. Their eyes met. Something unspoken passed between them. A pull. Dangerous and deep. Before either could speak, alarms erupted again. This time from orbit. Human command signal forced through all channels. Ethan's wrist screen flashed red. Multiple fleets detected, the message read. Void marauders advancing toward Valari core worlds. Lyra's ears flattened. How many? She asked. Ethan's voice was calm. Too calm. Enough to wipe us out if we stand alone. Around them, the Fox girls gathered. Weapons ready. Eyes sharp. They were not afraid. They were waiting. Lyra looked at her squadron. Then at Ethan. Say the word, she said. We will follow. Ethan inhaled slowly. Feeling the weight settle fully now. This was no longer training. No longer assignment. This was leadership. He stepped forward, voice steady. Then we do not fight as Valari, he said. We fight as a pack. A low unified growl echoed across the deck. Far away, ancient enemies adjusted their course. They had noticed the signal. A human had become alpha to an alien pack. And the galaxy was about to learn. That when humans lead, others survive. The war did not wait. It arrived like a storm with no warning. Void marauder fleets poured into Valari space. Dark ships blocking stars. Weapons charging without mercy. The Valari High Command panicked. Old tactics failed. Fast strikes and solo attacks broke against enemy formations. Ethan stood inside the command chamber, surrounded by holograms and alarms. Fox-Girl officers argued loudly. Voices sharp with fear and pride. This will not work, Ethan said firmly. They hunt divided forces. Some protested. He is not Valari. He does not know our ways. Lyra stepped forward, voice cutting through the noise. He knows survival, she said. And he knows war. Silence followed. The first defense line collapsed within hours. Entire outposts lost. Signals went dark. The Fox-Girl Squadron launched under Ethan's command. Flying tight, covering angles. No one broke formation. Void fighters swarmed them. Fast and merciless. Ethan's voice stayed calm over the comms. Shield rotation. Pull back left wing. Protect the damaged ship. They obeyed instantly. For the first time, the Valari fought like a single mind. They saved civilian transports. Pulled wounded pilots from fire. Held lines others abandoned. But the enemy adapted. A massive void carrier entered orbit. Its weapons glowing like a dying star. There, Ethan said quietly. That ship controls the fleet. Lyra stared at the projection. That thing will kill thousands, she said. Then we stop it, Ethan replied. The plan was simple and deadly. A direct strike. No retreat path. Volunteers stepped forward without hesitation. Sarah, Kael'ra, and others. Ethan did not stop them. An alpha does not weaken the pack with fear. As the strike team launched, Lyra stayed beside Ethan in command. Her hands clenched behind her back. The battle around the carrier was chaos. Void defenses tore through space. Sarah's ship took heavy damage. Her voice stayed steady. "We are still flying," she said. The team breached the carrier's shield. Explosions rippling across its hull. Then the trap was revealed. Hidden cannons activated. 2 Volari fighters vanished in fire. Ethan's jaw tightened. "Pull back," he ordered. "Now." Kaora responded first. "We finish this," she said. The carrier began charging its core weapon. A blast that would erase the planet below. Sarah's voice cut through the channel. "Commander," she said softly. "Lock onto my signal." Ethan froze. "No," he said instantly. "I can get closer," she continued. "If I overload inside the core." Lyra turned toward Ethan, eyes wide. "She is offering herself," she whispered. Ethan's voice dropped. "You are Pack," he said. "We do not abandon Pack." Sarah smiled, unseen but felt. "You taught us something else," she replied. "Pack survives." Before Ethan could stop it, Sarah dove forward. Her ship vanished inside the carrier. The explosion was blinding. The void carrier shattered. Shockwaves tearing through space. Enemy fleets lost coordination instantly. Retreat signals scattered. Victory came. But it tasted like ash. Silence filled the command chamber. Lyra lowered her head, ears trembling. Around them, Volari warriors stood frozen. Ethan said nothing. His hands clenched slowly. An alpha does not show weakness. But loss cuts deeper when it is chosen. That night, the pack gathered in mourning. A Volari ritual older than cities. Names were spoken. Tails lowered. Heads bowed. Lyra stood beside Ethan, closer than before. "You carry this," she said quietly. "I must," he replied. "Or it means nothing." Before dawn, human command transmitted again. "Emergency priority." Ethan opened the message. His eyes darkened. "What?" Lyra asked. "This was only the first wave," he said. "The Void Marauders are moving their main force." "How long?" she asked. Ethan exhaled slowly. "Days." Outside, the Fox-Girl Squadron waited. Silent, armed, united. They had lost one of their own. But gained something stronger. A reason. Ethan stepped forward. Looking at them not as soldiers. But as family. "The next fight," he said. "We do not just defend. We end this." A low, powerful growl answered him. Not rage. Not fear. Resolve. Far beyond Volari space, ancient beings turned their attention fully now. A human alpha had risen. And he was leading a pack that refused to break. The final war was coming. And the galaxy would not be the same after it. The final battle began before the stars faded. Void Marauder main fleets entered Volari space like a black tide. Hundreds of ships, heavy and endless. Volari High Command prepared to retreat. Old fear returned. Old habits screamed to run. Ethan stood at the center of the war chamber, calm and steady. Around him, Fox-Girl leaders waited. Not arguing. Listening. "If we fall back," Ethan said, "they will hunt us system by system. This ends only one way." Lyra stepped beside him. Her voice clear and strong. "We stand," she said. "As one pack." The order went out across all channels. Volari fighters regrouped. Human reinforcements jumped in from hyperspace. 2 worlds answering one call. Ethan took full command. Not as a human officer. Not as an alien ruler. As Alpha. He split the fleets into layered defense. Fast Volari strikes guiding heavy human fire. Each covering the other. The Void Marauders advanced confidently. Then slowed. Then broke. They had never faced unity like this. When Void Destroyers pushed through the center line, Ethan gave one final order. All packs, he said. Protect each other. Advance. The battlefield erupted. Volari speed tore through enemy formations. Human cannons shattered capital ships. Every move calculated. Every loss answered. At the center of the Void Fleet, an ancient command ship revealed itself. Alive, massive, watching. Lyra felt it. "They're Alpha," she whispered. Ethan nodded. "Then it ends here." He led the strike personally. Lyra flying at his side. No hesitation. No doubt. The enemy Alpha attempted psychic dominance. Fear signals. Control waves. The Volari faltered for a moment. Ethan opened all channels, voice steady and human. "Fear is not weakness," he said. "It is proof you care. Stand with me." The signal broke. The Volari surged forward, roaring across comms. The enemy Alpha screamed as its control shattered. Ethan and Lyra breached the command ship. Fighting side by side. Human resolve and Volari fury united. When the enemy core collapsed, the Void fleets lost direction instantly. Some fled. Others fell silent. The war ended in minutes. After the battle, space felt quiet. Too quiet. On the Volari homeworld, the pack gathered under open sky. Warriors, leaders, civilians. Lyra stepped forward first. She lowered her head before Ethan. Not as a captain. As Volari. "You fought for us," she said. "You bled with us. You led us." One by one, the Fox girls followed. Tails lowered. Eyes bright. Ethan felt the weight settle fully now. Not command. Responsibility. "I will not rule you," he said. "I will stand with you." Lyra reached for his hand. Her grip firm and warm. "Then stand as Alpha," she said. "Of Volari. And of humanity." Cheers echoed across the field. Not loud. But deep. Later, as stars returned to normal paths, Ethan and Lyra stood alone again. The war behind them. The future ahead. "You changed 2 worlds," Lyra said softly. Ethan looked at her. "We changed them," he replied. Far away, councils whispered. Old powers watched carefully. A truth had spread across the galaxy. Humans were dangerous. Not because they conquered. But because they led. And when humans became Alpha, others did not fall beneath them. They rose with them. Peace did not arrive loudly. It settled slowly, like dust after fire. Volari space began to heal. Cities rebuilt. Trade routes reopened. Children played under skies that were no longer dark. Ethan walked through the capital with Lyra beside him. Fox girls bowed respectfully as they passed. Not out of fear. But trust. He was no longer called trainer. Or commander. He was Alpha. Human and Volari forces now trained together. Different bodies. Same discipline. Human soldiers learned speed and instinct. Volari warriors learned patience and structure. Together, they became something new. Yet peace made Ethan uneasy. At night, he studied old battle data. Void Marauder patterns. Signals that did not fully disappear. Lyra noticed it. "You feel it too," she said. "They ran," Ethan replied. "They did not end." One evening, a distant probe returned damaged. Its final data fragment barely intact. A star map flashed across the screen. Marked regions far beyond known space. And a symbol. Older than the Void Marauders. Older than any recorded war. Lyra's ears flattened. "Our oldest legends speak of this," she said quietly. "The first hunger." Ethan felt the weight again. Not fear. Purpose. Human command contacted him minutes later. Their tone careful, respectful. "They are asking," Lyra said softly. "For you." Ethan looked out at the stars. At two worlds now connected by choice. "I will not go alone," he said. Lyra stepped forward instantly. "Pack does not separate," she replied. Across the training grounds, Valari warriors gathered. Human troops stood beside them. No orders needed. The Alpha signal had already spread. Far away, something ancient shifted. It had noticed unity where it expected chaos. For the first time in a long time. It hesitated. Ethan turned back toward his people. His pack. "This is not the end," he said. "It is the next hunt." A low, powerful growl answered him. Not violent. Ready. And somewhere beyond the edge of the galaxy. The echo of an alpha reached beings who had never known resistance. The future was watching. And it was afraid. The message did not come through normal space. It arrived as a pressure in the mind. Every alpha felt it at once. Ethan stopped mid-step. Lyra's ears snapped upright. Across the training fields, Valari warriors froze. Human officers reported the same sensation. A low signal. Not sound. Not words. A summons. The ancient symbol appeared again across multiple screens. This time clearer. This time closer. "It is not attacking," Lyra said slowly. "It is inviting." Ethan's jaw tightened. "Predators invite only one thing," he said. "A test." Human High Command convened in emergency session. Voices tense, controlled. They did not order Ethan. They asked him. The galaxy had noticed what happened in Valari space. Dozens of species now watched humanity carefully. Some with hope. Others with fear. Ethan addressed them all through open channel. Calm, steady. "We did not win because we were stronger," he said. "We won because we stood together. That choice still stands." Several alien signals answered immediately. Old rivals. Former enemies. They did not pledge loyalty. They requested guidance. A new kind of alliance began forming. Not ruled. But led. Lyra stood beside Ethan as fleets gathered. Valari ships first. Then human. Then others. Different designs. One direction. Scouts returned with disturbing data. Entire systems stripped clean. Stars dimmed unnaturally. The first hunger was not an empire. It was a cycle. It erased civilizations when they became isolated. When fear replaced unity. Ethan understood then. This enemy fed on division. On the flagship bridge, Lyra turned to him. "Our legends say no alpha can face it," she said. Ethan looked at the growing fleet behind them. "Then legends were written too early," he replied. As the combined armada jumped toward the unknown. No one spoke. There was no fear in the silence. Only focus. Far beyond known space, something ancient stirred fully awake. For the first time in ages, it sensed resistance. Not from one species. But many. bound by one truth. That when humans lead, they do not dominate. They unite. And the hunt was about to change forever.